Hey, it's me. We didn't know who was going to do the intro. I guess it's me.
Yeah.
It's me, the LEEBOYTV. I'm with PRIME. We're a little bit out of shape, man. It's been a couple weeks. We got you guys some episodes. One of them may or may not have been recycled. Who knows? But we had a good Thanksgiving break, and we are back in action. And this is the Prime Nostalgia Podcast. What's up, Prime?
Yeah. I'm okay. Just above everything, because we're just gonna skip some movie. How did you come up with this movie? Or you just wanted to do something Wesley from True Story or what?
Yeah, man. So I was
Okay.
watching True Story, which I thought was a phenomenal project, starring Kevin Hart, co-starring Wesley Snipes. Definitely encourage everyone to go check that out on Netflix. If just to support Kevin Hart in general, because we love him on the Prime Nostalgia Podcast. Not as part of nostalgia as much as we don't get to cover him in nostalgia. So next best thing, let's cover some Wesley. Got Wesley Snipes there, did a phenomenal job as well in True Story. Like I said, everyone go check that out. But yeah, I was just in a Wesley Snipes kind of mood, and I was like, man, we got to do one of his famous projects. I know my personal favorite is White Men Can't Jump. Also loved him and in tons. I mean, Blade, he got Jungle Fever. He's got tons of great projects, but one of his best is the topic that we're discussing today, which is
New Jack City.
New Jack City. They even sing New Jack City in this movie, which is hilarious.
I like the song. I mean, I've been had the song, like the song, but believe it or not, this is my first time watching it.
Okay. I mean, this is one that I definitely saw a lot, just like on VH1 in the background, MT, like it comes on a lot of holidays. And it's been a while since I've seen it, but definitely one I grew up with, specifically that last scene. I always love the last scene in the courtroom. We'll talk about it later. Mrs. Hawkins.
Yeah.
Love that part. But what'd you think on the first round? I mean, before we get into the specifics.
I mean, I can see I liked it, but I can see why I didn't watch it because of everything that's going on.
It's crazy. Yeah, there's a whole lot of people getting shot and killed and overdoses and crazy stuff. But yeah, definitely one that you should be censored as a kid, but I think I saw it pretty early on. But
yeah, especially I know I want to jump ahead, especially the scene at the wedding.
Right.
He's like oh wait, no, it's a lick, and then they all run and then dive over everything.
Oh yeah, he grabbed. We'll talk about that later, but I don't know how they literally dodged the bullet in that one. But I
don't know how that girl didn't get shot.
That's what I'm saying. She dodged.
He literally said, "Here, shoot her." But all right, cool.
And I bet you there's an alternate to that scene. I bet you they had her getting shot up, but they was like, that's just probably too crazy. They was taking it too far with that. So, so where do we start with this? Do we want to just start with the general plot? Want to talk about some of the cast or our feelings? What are we thinking here?
Yeah, we just get into the well, you're saying the story, yeah, but we got to talk about Wesley and Alan. So Alan Payne, so this must be one of his first projects, right?
Right. It's a first for a lot of people. Definitely.
Because I do know Alan Payne was. I think he got to start in the Cosby Show, and then he came here, and then did like Vampire Brooklyn and all that other stuff. But like, I think maybe this is his first thing.
Probably one of his first big projects. What's funny is I actually watched a documentary about this, just preparing for today's podcast, and they said that Wesley Snipes was the least known person at the table read. And this is Chris Rock. He was, he was coming up. I think he had maybe just got Saturday Night Live, and they're looking at
probably didn't do nothing but bad at this time.
Yeah, he had done bad, but that wasn't. It didn't really show off his acting chops or anything. It was just a music video. He has some other credits before this, but when you're looking at Ice-T, you got Alan Payne, like you said, Cosby's, and Mario Van Peebles
too. Judd Nelson is the cop, the white guy.
Yeah. And so there's tons of people that had resumes at the time, but none of them obviously compared now to Wesley Snipes. Well, we know Wesley Snipes, except Chris Rock for sure. Let's just say
Yeah,
that there was
yeah.
tons of talent that may or may not have got their start, but this is early on. This is in 1991, so lots
Hmm.
of clout to be had after this project. And yeah, man, it was it's definitely a studded cast, and we'll talk about during the nostalgia star. Um, but then you have director two, Mario Van Peebles,
Hmm.
who's, you could see the influence from his father, the black exploitation era, mixed in with the whole crack epidemic. It was like, this is like the one time, or this is one of the first movies that really put that on a spotlight. Um, so yeah, man, I think it was just an excellent film for the time in general. And so many gems come from this. Like, see ya, wouldn't want to be it. Look, I don't know if that came straight from this, but Wesley Snipes, he's always good for those quotables, man. He's got that. He got canceled as B. I'll buy me another one. Like, canceling, I never heard no one else cancel a B before. And B, you could use your imagination on what he really said. But yeah, man, there's some great
Most,
one-liners from this.
I think, for me not seeing this, the most not quotable, but the most thing I've seen from this is a GIF of or a meme of him when he said my brother's keeper. You got the
Mm-hmm.
tear. I think that's the most thing I probably see.
Right. Yeah. And that scene is just, that was obviously like the pinnacle of the acting within the film.
Hmm.
Um uh, Outside of that, they just keeping it gangster. Like Wesley Snipes is keeping it real. Like, he just
Hmm.
seems like a real regular guy that you could probably relate to. But yeah, with that scene on the roof, you definitely see, with the tears dropping, he put it on, man. And I think he definitely carried the movie in a lot of ways.
By the way, Nino Brown's outfits are like, come on, like
He's killing it, right?
the yes, the all
Yes.
black uh outfit he had at the wedding, and then the all black outfit he had when he was explaining to them when he was explaining to them his plan. He had the chain and the
Mm-hmm.
little hat.
Yeah,
Like, come
yeah,
on.
they had the Kangos on. He had the
Yeah,
big chain. Like, that's a chain that could rival some chains that's going on right now. Like,
yeah.
he had some things going on. And yeah, the fashion in general is just pretty dope throughout the movie. They had the Jeep Wrangler they was rolling in the beginning, and Timberlands, I think, throughout, Kangos, chains. And yeah, old dude Nino Brown is super fly,
Mhm.
including gotta know what you think about that haircut with the landing strip down the middle. And it had
Now,
varying sizes throughout the movie as well. I don't know if that's by design or
now, I, now I thought it was at first. I thought it was just like it just went to just there, but it was like looked like a mohawk in the middle, not just like a
mm-hmm.
fade, like the face after the fade. So I don't know. You might get a thumbs in the middle for that, but the haircut as a whole is like all right, thumbs up because it's trendy.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely fits the character of Nino Brown as a villain and just being outlandish and
Who
over
thinks
the
he's the good
top.
guy, by the way.
Right. It in some ways. Well, nah, not really. But I'm always make a case for the villain. But the everything he said in that last speech when he's like, they didn't make no Uzis in Harlem, you know what I mean? Like, there's no poppy fields out here. He's like, this is way bigger than me. This big business. And he had a point. But come on, Nino Brown, man. Like, it was a good case. He definitely knew how to present a case. Even was he his own lawyer in this? I don't like he did the damn
It
thing.
could
He
have been.
wasn't, but the way
Could have
he
been.
had that last, yeah, that his final statement was on point. And definitely, I mean, yeah, he could have been his own lawyer, got him out of a whole lot of trouble.
There's a lot about this. First of all, I want to say like because I know a lot of people don't know Judd Nelson. I only know Judd Nelson from being the Brat Pack and the Breakfast Club and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But him and Ice T, so I don't want to say surprised me, but I was not expecting them to be how they were, especially how
Right,
we see them now.
where he's like basically bringing up everything in black culture, and he's like
Yeah,
that dimension, right? Like
yeah.
dynamic. I mean, yeah, it's pretty funny. I mean, I think it speaks to the time where, like, you know, I think it was things were less PC then, where people could just say
Well, yeah.
whatever they wanted. Stuff like that, you would literally got knocked out or fired if you were saying some crazy stuff. Some of those things, maybe not in the police department. They'll probably give you a little bit, a little bit of
Especially if
leeway.
you are actually a good cop.
Right.
Yeah, you're actually doing your job.
He over here talking trash every second he gets, and it was kind of hilarious. Let's start off. Well, we'll get into the plot lightly. I mean, if you guys don't know, this is about a kingpin in the crack area. He takes over an apartment building called the Carter, starts this whole, this whole empire where that eventually gets taken down. I mean, that's pretty obvious within the movie, but there's a lot of ins and outs, a lot of, there's a lot of backstabbing and plot twists that happen throughout that really carry the story, similar to True Story. A shameless plug once again, go check that out. But yeah, and I think a lot of it starts with Chris Rock, who's addicted to the rock, addicted to crack. Everybody know. I mean, other than the scene where Nino Brown cries at the end, I'm sure you heard about Pookie. Everybody know about Chris Rock as Pookie.
Yes.
He plays the hell out of this role. But it's you think he played it well, or you think it was just funny? Like looking back at it, some parts he's like trying not to smoke the crack rock.
It was just funny.
Some of that acting did not live on too well. Did not stand the test of time.
Yeah, I think it's one of his first roles. He had like Beverly Hills Cop, and he didn't even get Boomerang at this point, so he's still kind of early.
Still kind of early. And so yeah, in the story, he starts off as a drug dealer. Him and Ice-T have Ice-T ends up shooting him in a drug deal gone bad, and ends up flipping him and has him infiltrate the CMB, which is the drug empire gang that Wesley Snipes or Nino Brown is the head of. And so yeah, and he goes through these bouts with crack and gets off it. He goes on it. They have this whole montage. It's pretty interesting. Now, did you know that Martin Lawrence actually turned this role down?
I heard Martin and somebody else did.
Mm-hmm. Now, Martin, they said Robin Harris, I believe, passing away was the reason why Martin didn't want to keep going with the role. He wanted to take some time to himself or everything, but could have been a lot different.
Well, I will say he made up for it with that scene in the Mom with the Dog. This had to be like straight from that scene. When he came in with the dog, when Martin came in with the dog, with the fake dog and the turtleneck, and he was interrogating them.
Oh, in the show, Martin. Yes. He definitely played homage to New Jack City. On the television show, which was great. So yeah, I mean, and Chris Rock has one of the best, a great performance through this, and one of the most memorable performances, I think. What were some of your other memorable performances as far as either the actors or scenes?
Other than Nino, I would say Alan Payne, because
G Money.
Yeah.
What kind of name? I mean,
make you change. I'm telling you to change.
Sit your $5 behind that before I make some change in here.
Now I would just say either him or I don't know what the dude's name is. He looked like his name should be like Big Money. I don't know. Is it Gerald? Is it Gerald? Yeah.
I think his name is like it's something hilarious. I might need to look that up, but
yeah, no, his character was funny too.
And what'd you think of Ice-T? Like, I'm always torn on Ice-T as an actor because his voice is just so distinctive.
Is he an actor, or is he playing himself?
I know, that's what I'm saying. His voice is so distinctive. He never changes it. He never changes his inflection or. He's just giving us Ice-T. You say it again?
Is Ice Cube an actor to you?
I feel like Ice Cube's a little bit more than Ice-T. A little bit.
They both be playing themselves. So
for sure.
I mean,
For sure. I mean, the only stretch is Ice-T is a cop, but he's lived with that role. Like I don't know
now
if he was a cop in his former life, or I mean, he's just made to play a cop.
like him now, he can look like a cop because he got a regular haircut. But the haircut he had in this movie, it's like there's no way this man is a cop. There's no way.
No way. No way he's a cop. I mean, and that is one of the things that draw people into this movie, those that there are quote unquote hip hop characters throughout, relatable street characters on both sides of the fence. And I think one of the first times we got to see something like that, where the cop is also just as street savvy as the perpetrators. And it took that to trick someone like Nino Brown, who was very well, they put it out there like he was very protective of his empire, but he was so quick to let in Scotty, who is Ice-T in this. He's like, as soon as he showed up, he was like, all right, I'll give you the keys to the city. Like, come on now, man.
Just one real quick. You know how quick he turned on him though? Because like they get there, he was like, what's up? What's up? He's a cop. Like, you didn't even like explain.
Right. Somebody just say he's a cop, and you just gonna start shooting at him. Like,
yeah, you didn't even like just try to explain yourself and nothing. Just say he's a cop. Come on.
And since you brought it up, the person who says that is Chris Williams, right? That's his name. He looks exactly like I'll Be Sure. So I was like, looking it up. I mean, obviously I know Chris Williams. I remember him from the 90s. He's a singer. He's been on some big stages, including Apollo.
He has a song on here. So yeah.
Has a song on
his
the
biggest
soundtrack.
song is on here. So yeah.
But I had to look it up because I was just confused if it was I'll Be Sure or not. Did you know that they are cousins?
Yes.
I had no idea that they're cousins that call each other brother, actually. But they
look so similar. That's why I was like
dead alike, which is crazy. And still do on some of the pictures.
They look so similar. That's why I had to like make sure that it was the same person. Because I know what he looks like, but I just had to make sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I have to be sure. You know?
You had to. Oh, okay. I see where you go. I see where you went with that.
They have a lot of people's songs on here, which I'm pretty sure we'll get into later, but we just got like there's a lot of good songs on this track.
And you know, from that same documentary I watched, check it out on YouTube somewhere. I think it's called Road to New Jack City. They do discuss how this was actually one of the first soundtracks where it helped promote the movie, and the movie helps promote the soundtrack, and they really, you know, use that as a part of their marketing scheme. And, you know, since then, especially within the urban film industry, we've seen that play over and over again. So this is definitely one of the blueprints to that marketing tactic.
So I would assume Teddy did the soundtrack, right? Teddy Riley?
Probably. We got to look it up. But it's
I think he did.
New Jack Swing heavy.
They have a song called New Jack City. So I was like, they would have to.
Right.
If not Teddy, then maybe Babyface or somebody.
So did New Jack Swing come before New Jack? It's inspired by the term New Jack Swing, then, you think?
Yes. Because New Jack Swing came in like 86, 87. Yeah.
And so New Jack was kind of just like a slang, a term, right? And then they applied it to the movie as New Jack City. And you know, part of it is definitely the cast and Wesley Snipes, how they just let him go. You could tell that some of the things that he's saying are probably off book. You know, just kind of things that he threw in there from the times. Same thing with Ice-T, you know, he's just letting stuff fly, and he's just being himself, and it makes it a really authentic film. That's what I like about it. Some of the acting doesn't hold up quite a bit, but the cultural impact for sure is something that I think stands the test of time, and we'll definitely discuss that and Nostalgia Star at the end of this episode. So you guys stick around. There's a huge motive behind why this cop Scotty is going after Nino. And I think it's maybe a little bit underplayed, but you know, it's a huge factor that Nino was part of the LA Boys and killed Scotty's mom in 74, whatever year they shoot out. But it's just so coincidental, right? that this happens to be the drug case that he's on is like the guy that shot his mom in the
Yep.
70s.
Just so happens.
Just so happens. Pure coincidence, I guess. But I thought that
So
was
how old is he supposed to be?
who, Nino?
Yeah.
I mean, he must have had to be a boy then. And if they saying that was in the 70s, this probably was in the late 80s. I mean, he's probably in mid 20s.
Okay.
I would think mid to late 20s. Let's say if he was 15 when he shot his mom, that happened in 74. If this happened in 88, he might have been like 20, 28, 29.
Okay.
Like so yeah, but Scotty's character he is on it as far as like he's got to take down Nino, and he tries to in so many ways. He had opportunity to remember the shootout at the wedding. I don't know if you noticed he almost took out Nino.
That's what I was saying. That's how I was like, so why would you even pretend like you're shooting if you don't even? Yeah,
he could have just ended the whole movie right there, right?
Especially if he had the smallest gun. He had like a little gun that's like this big, and everybody else got like
Uzis, Uzis, machine guns, and he had that opportunity to take him out. They have multiple busts that went wrong. Nino was just outsmarting them, including the time when Chris Williams was like, "Yeah, he's a cop," which was another very coincidental piece, because remember he's seen his interaction with Pookie from earlier, which is just so random. But I did like the way they tied it together. They did a pretty good job with tying up a lot of loose ends. So at least you can at least figure it out. Even if it is outlandish, at least it was there for us to understand. But ultimately, and this is very random too. Like now when everything goes astray and he can't figure out how to get Nino, what does he do? He just starts walking down the street to the Carter. He asks everybody, "Hey, you know Nino Brown? Hey, you know Nino Brown?" And then one kid's like, "Oh yeah, he's up in apartment 6C." Like, you couldn't just do this from the beginning.
No, man, you gotta ask 3 before me. You
didn't spend all this money with the police department and had all these gadgets. Remember they had the Pookie's belt, which was a camera, which looked so obvious. Like you got an eye in the middle of your belt.
91.
Oh man. And those scenes with Pookie in the like, I don't know what to call it, the lair.
Yeah, I don't know where that was. Yeah, I don't know where that was.
And they had a high-tech lair for this just to be like a drug operation in the 90s. So yeah, they get into this huge shootout in Nino's apartment. Scotty ends up whipping his behind, and you would think Nino would have just a little bit more hand skills than this, right?
No, he just gun. Why?
I guess he did shoot everybody up.
Yeah,
including his best friend G Money, which was just terrible. Which is just my brother's keeper, right?
I thought this was gonna be a movie where in the middle of the movie they just kill him.
Why? Oh no, they can't do that.
They do it in some movies as a twist. Like, because I thought he was at the scene. He was like, "I make change." I thought he was gonna actually make change, but he did. So.
Oh, you mean just kill G Money?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant Nino. I'm like,
no. I meant his head henchman or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, G Money makes it almost to the end until there's no one left. He's one of the last left, and then Scotty goes to get Nino out the apartment. He throws him down the fire escape conveniently into a whole pile of trash bags. Whoops him up some more. He's about to shoot him. This is like the 10th time he about to shoot Nino. Just let it off already, right? Like, come on. Oh man, I just feel like Nino should have been able to take this guy down, man. I think they should have got a little bit bigger of a cop or something. I just feel like the Nino Brown, to me, looking back at it, a lot of people consider Nino the superhero. Like that's why you said earlier he's a villain that thinks he's the good guy. Well, a lot of people looked up to Nino Brown at this time, obviously, as this guy that
Well, if
rose
they're
from the
looking up to Nino
slums.
Brown, they probably in jail right now. So.
Right. But
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he was cool. It was also a lot had to do with the outfits and the hair and the everything, the girls and everything he had going on. But it's like, come on, man. And then this guy's talking about, I want to shoot you so bad, I'm getting aroused. Like, come on, man. I just thought that was definitely hilarious and pause worthy. But moving forward, he gets arrested. And I gotta say, this is one of the best flip the script moments ever. I just love because you just know that Nino Brown is going down. They didn't have him on tape. They didn't have him shooting people. I mean, Scotty seen him shoot people and kill people. He killed half the police. Remember he was stealth killing all the police officers when they infiltrated the spot.
Why didn't Scotty just be the one to have the camera since he was there?
I mean, he could literally just I mean, did they show him being a witness to everything? He was in the organization.
That's what I'm saying. He could have just had the camera say giving it to Pookie. He could have had the camera on him the whole time and just say, all right, this is what they've been doing.
I mean, he killed police officers. He didn't kill random people, and they can't stick nothing on him. He just gonna get out of it by saying what? Akbar.
You know, hey.
That guy's the lead. Like, oh, come on. Like, and then they ain't no jury or like nothing. Like they just had a ruling 5 minutes later. How he got out of that, I mean, it was great. It was a great speech. It was a great speech, great moment, but just a little bit unbelievable, obviously.
Okay.
Obviously. But my favorite line, Miss Hawkins. We wasn't all born in the spoon in our mouth, Miss Hawkins. And you got to see how he did something with his mouth that's just so relatable. It's like he was just so fed up with this lady. Yeah, that's just Wesley Snipes, man. And he did a great role. He played a great role in this. Carries over to White Men Can't Jump. The way he acts in this is very similar as far as just he's got the black man bravado. He's cooler than school, too cool for school. And this was definitely the birth to a great Wesley Snipes career. But should we spoil the end of how? I mean, people they ought to see. They better have seen it, I guess.
Well, we should not spoil the end because there is some more coming from this.
Right. I've seen that there's been some stuff in the news about a sequel or a prequel and a sequel.
Both. Yes, right. A prequel and a sequel. So if it's a sequel, I wonder how's that gonna work.
Right. Because I guess I'm kind of spoiling it here, but I wanted to see Nino survive this, man. I wanted to see Nino. I won't tell how, but they do a great way of foreshadowing the killing. This specific character, he tries to bring it out earlier. He tries to get it done earlier, and then he ends up getting it done at the end of the movie. And Nino Brown does not survive. We won't tell you how, but that's how it goes.
What if it's one of those things where he had a kid all along, and the kid is now in charge of a organization, something like that? I don't know.
Or look, we gotta have Pookie. We gotta have Chris Rock become the Kingpin in the sequel. Maybe he goes rogue from the police, or he has some insider. I don't know. Something's gotta happen. Something's gotta give.
If it's a prequel though, who plays Nino? Or is it just not about Nino? It's about like somebody else in the group, not Nino.
Nah, it's got to be about the LA boys. It's got to be about LA boys and how they killed Scotty.
So it might just be about the group, not specifically Nino.
Right.
Okay, so gotcha.
Maybe whoever taught Nino his ways, whoever he got the game from, maybe we'll see that. And then the birth of Nino, I think that would be interesting. And obviously the murder that kind of sets up everything and the reason why Scotty and Nino have this great duel throughout the movie. I think that could be an interesting lead up into what we know now as the New Jack City film. But as far as the sequel, what character none of the characters survived, really.
Nah. Unless Ice-T gonna be coming back like, I've been doing this for 30 years.
Right. He's still
30
gonna
or
be.
30 or 30
I
years
mean,
ago, I killed
he is still a cop. So
so what if the story is just about him, like them trying to kill Ice-T because of him killing Nino? I don't know.
yeah, I mean, revenge would be a great plot in that. So, I mean, that's all to be determined as far as what we'll see out of the prequel and the sequel. And I heard they just named the director for it. So
Let's start with the cast because obviously I'm saying it's A. Maybe if not a A, if not a B plus A.
yeah,
So
no,
one of
I give it an A minus.
yeah.
I mean, I think they definitely so a lot of stars came of this project. So I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if they were stars at the time, or they were somewhat stars getting their start, but this
Yeah.
it ended up being a great collection of guys, right? It ended up being a
Mm-hmm.
great all-star cast, an ensemble for sure. All the way down
Not
to
an ensemble. That's not what this is. No, it's close though. It's close. You're
I
almost
was
there. We're almost
I would say even down to Vanessa Williams,
there. Mm-hmm.
not the Vanessa Williams, the other Vanessa, I don't want to call her the other Vanessa Williams. I think she might be I don't know, she might be the first.
It might be the third. Who
She's
knows?
the lesser famous. I don't. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. But she's I didn't really realize that she had got her start in this movie. Obviously, we've seen her in some of the like the Soul Food series and things like that. But she played a pretty great role in this, and along with you got Flavor Flav, you got Keith Sweat, you got a bunch of people, a whole bunch of people make
He was
appearances
already
throughout
about
this.
50 at that time.
His neck, you can see the neck veins, and he is struggling to get that song off and hear Keith Sweat at that wedding. But yeah, he did his damn thing, and along with everyone else in this cast, and you know, love Nino Brown, Wesley Snipes is just can't say more about that casting. So
Okay.
yeah, I would give it an A. I'll give it a solid A.
Okay. Production, I will say, I think it's a B because not everything was there. This is still kind of like still kind of like an indie, but it just happened to go over well. So,
Right. And the same documentary I mentioned a couple times, they say they basically blew the budget on a couple scenes just to try to make sure they give the appearance of it being a big film. The very first scene, I think they're on a bridge and he drops them off and they show the skyline of New York. They basically said most of the budget went through that, to the point where they couldn't even pull off the car chase scene that was supposed to be between Scotty and Pookie. It had to be a
when they
bike
ran out the
chase.
budget. I knew when they ran out the budget when at the wedding where the girl died, and it's like they just put coloring on it, like it's like it's coloring on the dress.
Oh man, and yeah, I mean, I would actually give it, because of, I'm sure they probably had a lot of budget constraints with it being, a film about crack and being an urban film. Mario Van Peebles' first feature that he directed. I'm sure they had some budgeting that they had to, really consider. So I'll give it a B plus. Yeah, I'll give it a B plus because I think they did a good job of what they had.
Yeah, then probably some of the budget went to the soundtrack as well. So yeah,
soundtrack, and then filming in New York City is going to be hella expensive. So
yeah. I guess we go to the plot, which, well, you know what, you go first. You go first.
Plot. So yeah, there's a lot of great coincidences. Like I said, Chris Williams seeing Pookie and the whole exchange with Scotty in the beginning, the whole thing with his mom and Nino happened to kill him. So they make it make sense. They make it make sense. But I feel like some of the coincidence were just a little bit too coincidental.
Okay.
But in the end, I was happy with most of the relationships that they were able to cultivate, the overall story. And I especially like the ending. in that specific character, his two confrontations with Nino Brown and how it played such a big role, even though it seemed so insignificant, it really had a lot of meaning to what the entire movie was. So I would give it, I'm teetering on a B plus to an A minus. I will give it
I'm giving a B plus.
I'll give it a B plus. I'll
All right.
put that too.
Because it's not all the way there. It's just too many coincidences. Even though it's like it makes it flow, just too many coincidental things and not just like things that happen. Like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do we go to longevity? Which I guess is A because they have a prequel and a sequel coming out. So
yeah, I mean, and people still talk about this movie to this day.
Or just the name Nino Brown too. So
the name Nino Brown, yeah. I'm gonna cancel that. It's like Nino. I mean, it's a rap song still. At YMCMB, I'm sure Cash Money Billionaires was inspired by this. The Carter, there's a whole album that Lil Wayne talking about the Carter. Obviously, that's his last name, but he's still, you could tell that he's definitely influenced. And people still just want to be Nino. In fact, I might have to be him for this next upcoming Halloween. I might have to figure out a little something, especially that, like you said, that wedding outfit when he had the circle shades. I mean, he was killing it. Yeah. He was killing it right there. So, I mean, just that and, everything that he had going on, the chains and everything. I think there was a lot of longevity in this film. I mean, just the name alone will stand the test of the time. It's just a lot of things went well. A lot of things went well.
Yeah, because they could have went the other ways. Like I said, this is still feels like an indie film. So it could have went where people was like, nah, this is
terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, this is too. So there's one or two ways that it can go. And it's just went the other way. Fandom.
Last is fandom. I mean, I would say in the culture that I'm part of, the closer to is would give this an A, but overall, just looking at the overall scheme of things, I would give it a B plus. I don't think this is definitely for the urban community. I don't think it has crossed over that well. Definitely not.
I won't say definitely, but I know it's not a good crossover film.
Yeah, there's no crossover appeal really. This is for BET Soul on Sunday mornings.
Definitely the furthest they get, and it's like Fuse and VH1 and
yeah, it'll come out. It'll come out on certain channels, but yeah, there's just very little crossover. So if you're just going based off the urban community, the Black community, definitely an A. I mean, everyone knows about this, references it, and it speaks to the culture, the split in the culture where people were, on the side of drug dealers or hated drug dealers, in the 90s. And this was a huge debate within, for sure, within the Black community and outside. So it definitely speaks to that, but that's more on longevity. But as far as fandom, yeah, it really only comes from one side of the spectrum. So I would give it a B. I'll give it a B.
I'll give a solid B, maybe even a B minus, but it does do good, and the people keep it up willing for it to just be a B.
Yeah, and it's just because it's so niche of an audience, so urban. Like it's a lot to stomach, a whole lot of shooting. People don't really want to watch movies about crack and stuff like. Yeah. You gotta.
That's why I didn't watch it, because I'm like, I don't really. Yeah.
You got to have some type of background or at least someone's got to introduce you to this. Otherwise you're not going to just throw it on. Like, let's watch New Jack City tonight. Nope. That's not going to happen.
Nah.
Nope. But over like the people that know this and the people that, are familiar with this lifestyle, I think will swear by this movie and say it's one of the greatest. So that's why you can't go below B, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, so there we go. I mean, a bunch of A's and B's. We'll tally it up. That was a nostalgia star for New Jack City, starring Wesley Snipes. And once again, we said, make sure you go check out that True Story starring Wesley Snipes and Kevin Hart. What'd you think of that before we get out of here?
I ain't see it yet.
Oh, okay.
I gotta check it out. Well, yeah, I have not seen it yet.
When you watch it, you hopefully I mean, if you're anything like me, you're gonna be hooked on it to the end. It's only 7 episodes. Every
Okay.
episode, I'll say, the stakes rise with every episode. So once you think you got it figured out, keep watching, and it gets good all the way up into the end. So
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, hey, let everybody know where to find you.
me. You can find Lee on LeeboyTV.com, at LeeboyTV on all socials, including those are Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Type in Leeboy TV on Google, follow everything you see, and show some love. I mean, I've been taking a little break on social media. I'm about to get back into the action, but you know, I ain't gonna lie, the holidays is heavy on your boy, so sometimes I just need to fall back a little bit. But Leeboy TV everywhere, coming strong.
You're not gonna tell them to follow the magical media.
Yeah, you can follow Magical Life. follow magical _ life _ media. Over there, you know, I play the background, but we give Disney news.
Oh, that's why you ain't want you play background.
I ain't really. Yeah, it doesn't need to be connected to me. You know, I'm a Disney blogger now. What can I say?
Okay.
But Magical Life Media, go check it out. We spend a lot of time in the parks with the kids, so if you just want to see us having fun, you can see that on the stories. Although you won't see me as much. It is my content, myself and the magical Nikki, who is my better half. And we have a lot of time creating it. So definitely show some love and support, especially if you're into Disney. A lot of people hate Disney right now, but at least from what I'm seeing on the blog, at least at Disneyland, people are fed up with Disneyland. So you might see some fed up content coming soon, because that's what the audience is asking for.
All right.
Expensive at Disneyland. I ain't gonna. And they ain't giving back too many perks right now. So it is what it is.
Okay. Well, first off, I will say I haven't worn this hoodie. I got this hoodie. I won this hoodie in a contest, actually, from Hip Nation.
Hey, dope.
I got a shout out to them. So they sent it to us. They sent it to me. But follow KBNG Primetime, all socials, just like him. Go to Google and type it. Follow them at Prime Nostalgia Pod. And yeah.
80, you ain't gonna shout out your other alias?
Oh yeah, 80s, 90s, 2000s. I mean, yeah, sure. Do everything, yeah.
We doing it out here. 80s, 90s, 2000s vibes, right? What is it? Vibes?
Yeah, vibes.
Yep. Go follow that, man. Show them some love. Great content.
Working.
Nostalgia Alley. Yep.
Yeah. So it's a lot of stuff we got. So, just do all that. And yeah. Prime time is
all the time, baby.
Prime Nostalgia.
Thanks for tuning in to the Prime Nostalgia, the podcast dedicated to entertainment from childhood. That's 80s, 90s, the latest 2000s. Cause Prime know it all, and Leeboy be wild, and he's from all that. Dropping gems for you to find, so that's orange, the lightest line. Prime time is all the time. We talking about the classics, and there's so many. That's Leeboy TV and PRIME.